I have to say, because your dance scene in the movie is absolutely brilliant, I'm thinking that Alex Garland and Guy
I
Ritchie...
didn't get to do it in Ex Machina, so I really wanted...
That's what I'm saying. We need to have like an Oscar Isaac and you have a dance-off. How would that go down?
We actually did have one in San Diego at Comic-Con. There was no cameras to film it, but we stood on the dance floor for about 3 hours.
You and Oscar?
Yeah.
Why wasn't this filmed? Why didn't Guy Ritchie come in and do some spinning shots and put some music on it? We should have done this.
It was really fun. We had a dance-off.
Now, obviously, this movie, you're dealing with characters who are, tricking people. There's elements of undercover elements. I'm wondering, and this might be like a complicated question, but you're kind of acting within acting. Like your characters are also acting. So I'm wondering, like when you get on set and Guy Ritchie yells cut, do you have to go under the first character and then find the second character, or you automatically, boom, undercover?
Don't you think that most people act? You can act your different personalities. It's just, that's what people do all the time, I think. And then, but then of course these people have, bigger intentions with whatever they're playing out. But that's the kind of characters that I think any actor kind of really get excited about, because it gives it more layers and more gray zones. And
I think these two women in this film are great to watch because they're both very powerful. They're both morally quite ambiguous. And they're both quite chameleon-like. I feel like they're both, whatever role they need to assimilate at that moment, they do that, which is why which is what we do as human beings, like Alicia just said. But that's why I think they're great characters. I think that's why we were so attracted to them, speaking for both of us. But that's a really funny question, because actually, as an actor, I think your main concern most of the time is just what your intention is, what do you want?
Right.
Which is actually, even, if you're lying, your intention is still to obtain the thing you want to obtain through your lie. So it's quite simple in a funny way.
Now, I think it's interesting, like a period piece or a film set like in an earlier time, how it lends an actor to kind of get into that character. And I'm wondering, like obviously The Great Gatsby and this film, those are set in specific time periods. Do you find it easier to get into the character if you're on a set that's specifically designed in a certain time period?
It's funny because they were my first sort of films, and then I started doing more contemporary films, which was a leap. It felt like there was a layer missing in a funny way. I was so used to working on period films, but they are, so much of your work in a way is done for you when you get to have this added layer, and costume creates such a different way of moving through space and inhabiting people, and it's like you cut a different shape as a person when you're in a period costume. So I think that I was really kind of, I really do enjoy it, And also physically, I was a dancer before. It kind of, there's a completely different way of moving depending on what period you're in. I studied 60s films a lot before I did this, and the women then, they were incredibly sleek and bold. They took up a lot of space, like Sophia Loren, Ursula Andress, they took up a lot of room on screen, and so I was trying to sort of do that in this. And
Now I have to ask you, obviously with Ex Machina, Alex directed a lot of that physically on set, like you were just wearing costumes, but the digital stuff was done in post.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, is there any difference in a film like this versus a film like that in the sense of, like, I know the characters are completely different, but I mean, is there a filming style, like when you have to think that there's digital elements on your body, is there a difference in coming to that character?
I mean, my character doesn't know that it's any digital thing going on, because she's just that. So that's not what's in your head. As soon as you hear the magic word action, you kind of leave everything behind. And I kind of love that thing of letting everything else go and just try and be just focused on my co-actor and whatever scene we're playing out. So I wouldn't say that would have been very hard if I would have to think about that too while acting out a scene.
That's really cool. It's a pleasure to meet both of you. Thank you so much for the
Thanks
interview.
so much.
Honor to meet you guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that.